Good evening. This is the August 9th, 2022 meeting of the Abington Cable Advisory Committee. The first thing I am going to do tonight is review notice of the cable television public hearing. Please take notice that the Cable Advisory Committee, on behalf of the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Abington, Massachusetts, as issuing authority for a cable television license under Mass General Law, Chapter 166A, will hold a public hearing on August 9th, 2022 at 7:00 p.m. The public hearing will be held at the Abington Town Hall, 500 Glenwitz Way, Abington, Mass., Ware Room. The purpose of the hearing will be to determine whether to issue a cable license to Verizon New England Incorporated. All applications, reports, statements, and license draft to be considered at the hearing that constitute public records under state law are available for public inspection during regular business hours and for reproduction at a reasonable fee. Members of the public are invited to attend and be heard on the topic of A, whether the current cable operator is in full compliance with its currently existing cable license, and B, what are the town's future community cable-related needs. Good evening. I first would like to welcome everybody to the meeting. My name is Pete Walters. I am chairman of the Cable Advisory Committee. With me is Lisa Bazanson, who is a member, and our attorney, Bill Hedwig. Also with us today, who will be a member but not yet confirmed by the selectmen, is John Atanga. As I mentioned, we are now going into a hearing regarding the Verizon contract, which will renew on February 25th, 2023. There is a process for the renewal. The phase one is ascertainment, which consists of public meetings such as tonight, and we invite the public to voice their view on Verizon's performance and future needs. You can do this by sending myself an email at the town website or contacting Town Hall. The second phase will be a review of the proposal. And with that, I am going to refer you to our attorney, Bill Hedwig, with some information.
Good evening. This is a public hearing which is conducted pursuant to the Federal Cable Act, which is 47 U.S.C. Section 521 et sec. As the chair told you, the purpose of the hearing is to determine A, whether Verizon is in compliance with its currently existing license, and they're currently coming off a 15-year original license. So the license that we currently have from Verizon was issued back in 2008, expiring, as Mr. Walters said a moment ago, in February of 2023. The second purpose of the public hearing, and actually the purpose of ascertainment, which is the process we will be undergoing for the next 7 to 8 months, is to determine what the town's future community cable-related needs will be. I always begin a public hearing and begin ascertainment by saying that there is good news and there is bad news, and I'll start with the bad news first. The bad news is typically that the thing that most people come to public hearings for cable TV wanting, the various things most folks want, are not available. They're not on the table for negotiations. The Board of Selectmen has no power to negotiate for them. Those things include, for example, increases or decreases in cable rates. That's determined by the market. You have competition here in Abington between Comcast and Verizon, so the rates are unregulated, and the board has no power during negotiating a renewal license or any other time to regulate those rates. The second thing that many folks want at these hearings is programming changes. They might want this channel, that channel, a third channel. They might want different offerings. They might want the cafeteria plan and so on. And unfortunately, here again, the board has no power to negotiate for anything other than the most fundamental programming offerings, such as family programming, sports programming, local news programming, religious programming, general categories of programming only, not specific programs and not specific channels. And the third thing is, if that's not bad enough, the third thing is that you can't negotiate because it's not on the table for cable license renewal proceedings, is anything that has the word internet in it. We are not issuing an internet license, and if there are complaints about the internet or the broadband service that any cable operator, Verizon, Comcast, anyone provides, it's not for discussion at cable television license renewal proceedings. The process that we are embarking upon is to renew a cable television license only. The Board of Selectmen is the issuing authority in the town of Abington for a cable television license only, not for a broadband license, not for a telephone license. And it's curious to think that those other two signals go through exactly the same wire and occupy the same place over the public rights-of-way, but there is no power on the part of the Board of Selectmen granted by any statute or regulation to negotiate for any changes in internet, broadband, or telephone. This is cable television license only. That being said, the good news is, and there is good news, the good news is what you can get from these negotiations is money. And that's what we will basically be about on this cable committee as we embark upon the process of ascertainment. You heard Mr. Walters and me both say that one of the things that we will be doing is determining the community's future cable-related needs. That means money. That means how much do we want for public access support on an annual basis, and we currently get 4% of Verizon's gross annual revenues annually. And do we want, and if so, how much do we want in the form of capital grants for future equipment and other capital expenditures? And currently from Verizon we had $80,000 in a capital grant over 15 years. So that's what the proceeding is about. That's what we can get, that's what we can't get. And we will be looking forward to help from everyone in the community as we reach out, conduct hearings, conduct meetings, prepare a proposal, and begin our negotiations. We will need your help in determining A, is Verizon in compliance with its license, and B, what are the town's future cable-related needs? Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. At this point in time, I would ask, is there anybody in the audience who has any requests, suggestions, comments regarding the cable service from Verizon? Chair recognizes Mr. Collins.
To the committee, I emailed the committee earlier a note with some photos that were taken around Abington. My concern specifically, just for the record, is the state of the infrastructure of either Verizon or Comcast. I'm not sure who it belongs to, but it's easy to go around town in your brain to automatically delete all the utility lines. You just don't notice them. You don't focus on them. You kind of don't see them after a while. But if you start to really look at them, you notice that they're in deplorable condition in a lot of spots. Rats' nests worth of wires poking out of junction boxes, transmission lines held onto poles by jury-rig cantilevers. It doesn't look good. It's an eyesore in many parts of our town, specifically our important commercial districts. And the town is doing a lot, investing a lot to make sure that Abington is a good town for people to come and work and start businesses and buy homes. And the telecom companies' refusal to keep their equipment in a good working condition and good looking order is harming the town's reputation as a place worthy of investment. And so I leave the door open to the possibility that these aren't their lines. Whoever lines these are, it's a disgrace. It's an insult to the people of Abington. It needs to be addressed and fixed. I don't know any other community where it looks like this. It's offensive what some of those areas look like. And I really hope that whatever agreement is made, that part of that can be that they need to upkeep and maintain some of this disgraceful equipment that they have around town, if it is theirs. Happy to answer questions about any of the photos. I think the photos do a great job illustrating what I'm talking about. It's an absolute eyesore.
Do you Do you want me to read your letter, or can I just put it in the record?
You can just put it in the record.
Okay.
Why don't you show the photos to the camera, Pete?
Sure.
That might be a useful exercise. I'd like to see them myself.
I will put them on our, in our little web, portion of the town website as soon as I can get them on, so that everybody can see what he's talking about. I did receive one other email from an individual, Mr. Michael DeMarco, who said he could not be here, and I will read it. I cannot attend the hearing, so my opinion on Verizon. In regards to Verizon Fios, I have been a subscriber since it was installed in Abington. I have only lost service when there was no electricity to our street. Then I used my generator and back in business with internet, TV, and phone. My opinion is Fios is extremely reliable. Before I retired, I was responsible for all computer storage at a major insurance company, which included large EMC SANS at 2 sites for failover. Outages were not acceptable. It appears Verizon has that redundancy. In regards to my home use, I lost service when the ONT got water in it. The technician rewired a new ONT and placed it inside my garage at no charge. Great service. I use their latest router and it's great. Service throughout my house. Hopefully Verizon continues in Abington. Mike DeMarco, 30 Karen Lane. Is there any other comments regarding Verizon at this time? That being the case, again, we will have additional meetings as the year goes by. And again, if anybody has any concerns regarding the service or any other issues with Verizon, either come to the meetings and or email. The email is at the town website.
I've marked these photographs as exhibits 1 through 12, and the 2 letters will be marked 13 and 14, so they can be identified for the record, and you can put them on the website, Pete.
Okay. Okay. That being said, that will end our discussion regarding the Verizon renewal tonight. We will be in touch with Verizon, and we will also make sure that we investigate this issue and see what we can come up with, and to see who is responsible and see what we can do about it. At this time, I would like to review the minutes of our April 12th meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 12th meeting.
Second,
I'm in favor.
unanimous.
Unanimous.
Okay. Is there any other business? The only other business that I can see is when we should have our next meeting. It's August the 9th. When would you suggest?
Maybe sometime in September, early
Okay.
September.
All right.
Maybe do you have a night, do you prefer Tuesday nights, Pete?
Lisa, Tuesday night?
I actually would prefer any night but Tuesday.
Which night?
Any night,
No,
but
well, if we're
Any
gonna
night
have it in
but Tuesday?
September,
Okay.
that should be all right. Yeah,
How about Wednesday, September 7th?
okay.
7 o'clock, good time for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the next meeting will be scheduled at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, September 7th. Is there any other business?
No.
Chair would entertain a motion to.
Well, actually, I wish Rick hadn't left because, I'm sorry, I do have something that I was going to ask him, and because I'm just really curious about the pictures that he sent. My suggestion and my question for him was, did he ask anybody about this? I mean, we did the Comcast renewal, and this is the first I've heard of it. So I think that, going forward, that part of a solution to this problem might be to have a zoning bylaw maybe requiring that new utilities are placed underground. And that would eventually start to clear up some of this. I know we don't have that much new construction still in Abington, but for anything going forward, I think that I would like to see planning, because they write the zoning bylaws, I would like to see the planning board maybe discuss a bylaw on addressing this problem with underground utilities.
Okay.
If you would, being the chair, if you would contact them and suggest that?
My plan is to talk to the town manager, and I will talk to the planning board.
Because planning writes the bylaws that are approved by, that the zoning board works under, so they would both be working under these bylaws, and I think that this should start to be addressed from a planning standpoint. So if you could reach out to them and ask them, I don't know if they would make it in time for the fall town meeting, if there's going to be one. I heard that there might be a fall town meeting. Not sure how long it would take them to write that, if they choose to. But I think we should suggest that to them, since it's not up to us really to tell them what to do, but if they would like to take that approach.
Okay. Will do.
So I would make a motion that we reach out to planning and have our chair discuss with them this issue and the possibility of a bylaw addition or change.
So moved.
I'm in favor.
Unanimous vote.
Okay. That's all I was just thinking that on the way. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I'm in favor.